Welcome to Booked for Two, the podcast where a married couple dives into epic stories, wild worlds, and sometimes questionable romances.
Basically, I'm here for the epic fantasies, dragons, battles, and way too much lore. Think Lord of the Rings meets a Wikipedia rabbit hole.
And I'm here for the emotional chaos. Think smuttier fantasies, heartbreaks, and the moments that make you gasp or throw your book.
She's the heart and soul. I'm the deep dive into every detail you didn't know you needed. Together, we'll tackle characters, plots, and themes one chapter at a time.
So whether you're team lore or team feels, grab your book, get comfy, and let's turn the page together. Holy shit, last week felt like the kind of chapter set that smacks you in the face with tension and then whispers, "You're welcome."
Oh, you mean the kind where cryptic queens, near-death experiences, and some Yulemas Ball drama all pile into the same chapters like they're late for a family reunion?
Exactly that. Shall we jump into our recap of chapters 31 through 39 first?
Let's do it. Last week, Elena decided to spice up Celaena's life again by popping in with more cryptic warnings.
Right? Save the kingdom from evil. It feels a little vague, even for a ghostly ancestor. Then there was that poison test. Talk about stressful. Celaena can't even have lunch without a side of potential murder.
And don't forget the Yulemas Ball. Celaena shows up and it's like she's all that meets Bridgerton. She's serving looks and Dorian is absolutely not okay.
And of course, Chaol is lurking in the background, probably wondering why he feels things while pretending he does not.
And let's not skip that ending. Celaena's balcony, Dorian sneaking off, and Chaol staring up like a brooding rom-com lead.
Oh, classic. So, are we ready to dive into chapters 40 through 47? Things are about to get even messier.
As always, we must do our shameless plug because without it, we will not be able to reach other wonderful people in our book lovers community. So please be sure to subscribe, follow, and review our show on your favorite podcast listening platform. Your support means everything to us.
Please make sure you're following us on social media for behind-the-scenes content, sneak peeks, and updates. Plus, every Saturday, Sunday, we'll post the chapters we're covering in the next episode so you can read along with us.
We want you to get to know us, so join us every Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Central for a live Q&A on our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok profiles. Whether you're burning to know more about the podcast, the chapters, or even something random like, what is my craziest bookmark in my collection?
Speaking of bookmarks, we're thrilled to share that stickers and bookmarks are in the works. Whether you want to deck out your water bottle, Kindle, laptop, or just keep your place in your favorite book in style, we've got you covered. Please keep an eye out. They'll be dropping soon. And trust us, you won't want to miss them.
And starting this week, we'll be posting cryptic messages from our assassins personas, the keepers of whispers themselves, Obsidian and Garnet, on our socials. Solve the puzzle and you'll have a chance to win autographed stickers and bookmarks from both of us.
We will be posting the cryptic message every Monday, so be sure to follow us and check regularly. We can't wait to see who rises to the challenge.
Next week, it's happening, the Throne of Glass finale.
Woo!
But wait, there's more. We're also dropping a bonus episode the following Monday, where we will review the book, talk about our favorite moments, and slap on our tinfoil hats one more time to theorize what's coming next. You definitely don't want to miss it.
Oh no. Speaking of what's next, make sure you have your copy of Crown of Midnight. That's book 2 of the Throne of Glass series ready to go. We're diving right in the following Thursday. No breaks, no mercy. I cannot wait. So get prepared because we're keeping this adventure rolling. And now, let's turn the page.
Starting off with chapter 40.
Ugh, awkward encounters. Celaena wakes up to a wet, slobbery kiss on her face. Gross. But adorable? That turns out it's the grumpy puppy wagging its tail in her face. Naturally, her first thought, as would be mine, oh no, the dog definitely peed. But plot twist, Prince Dorian strolls in casually, because of course he does, and lets her know that he took the dogs out at dawn with all the other puppies. So, wait, that means he was in her room earlier?
That's what it sounds like. What time is it right now?
So he just comes and goes as he pleases?
What time are we taking the dog out? He's usually there at midnight. What time is it now?
Well, he said he took them out at dawn, and she wants to know why he's up so early. It's actually 1 p.m. She's been sleeping like the dead, according to Philippa.
Oh, rough night.
Yeah. So then he asks if she has named the puppy yet. And she hasn't. But also, she wants to know in her mind, she's thinking, why is this man acting like that kiss didn't happen last night? And it starts to be awkward, and I feel awkward. He throws out the suggestion, Goldie, and no, Celaena's not having that one. I get it. She looks at the puppy's paws and decides on Fleetfoot.
Fleetfoot.
Which feels random. And then she says, until Fleetfoot outruns all of his fancy hybrid dogs later, take that, Prince Hoity-Toity.
Fleetfoot.
Yeah, Fleetfoot.
That's what we're going with.
Yep.
Fleetfoot.
Fleetfoot.
Looks like Littlefoot.
Aw.
I know, right?
Okay. Well, way to bring us down.
Yeah, SGM better not pull a never-ending story move and give us an Artax moment. I'll be pissed.
Okay, what's happening here? Are you just are you going for sad things? Littlefoot and now Artax? All right.
I'm just warning her, if we fall in love with this puppy and it dies, I'm going to be highly, highly, highly upset.
I'm going to be sad.
Well, speaking of more awkwardness, Dorian, clearly feeling it too, apologizes for being too forward the night before. It's like, dude, if you're going to kiss her, at least commit. And now we are going to do a quick reading from the book.
It's too good.
Last night, I'm sorry if I was too forward with you. Celaena, you're grimacing.
Sorry.
It did upset you then.
What did?
The kiss.
Oh, it was nothing. I didn't mind it, but I didn't hate it, if that's what you're thinking.
So you liked it?
No. Go away.
Come now. From your reaction, one would think you'd never been kissed.
Of course I've been kissed, but it wasn't by some stuffed shirt, pompous, arrogant princeling.
Stuffed shirt?
Oh, hush up.
Celaena gets up to get dressed, and Dorian's eyes turn sad as he notices her scars again. He can't help himself and comments on how awful they are. She delivers the quote of the book.
We all bear scars, Dorian. Mine just happened to be more visible than most.
Mic drop. Put that on a fucking t-shirt, tattoo it on your arm, or if you're Genevieve, make it your computer background, which she already has.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Rompier's in the house! Technically, it's a greenhouse.
I mean, that's close enough.
It's a sweaty, sticky jungle in there, which somehow feels exactly on brand for the Duke. He hands her a flower, clearly thinking he's that guy, and she thanks him while silently screaming, gross, do less. But the Duke isn't just here to pick flowers, he's got an agenda. He can tell that Caltain's off her game. She blames it on the previous night, but then bam, he drops, I saw you watching The Crown Prince.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit, this guy might be a creep, but he's not stupid. Caltain's poker face, Lady Gaga couldn't do better. She goes full...
Was I?
Mode, smooth as hell. Then it gets weird. The Duke's ominous black ring starts pulsing, and suddenly Caltain's head feels like it's exploding. What's going on? And he's bringing up Dorian and Lady Lillian. Seriously, how much does he know about Caltain's not-so-secret thirst for the prince? And
he doesn't stop there. The Duke drops a bomb. He knows who Lady Lillian really is. Celaena, the infamous assassin. Adderland's assassin. Caltain's gears are spinning. She knows she has to up her game big time to compete. But revealing Celaena's identity alone is not going to cut it. So she carefully probes. How can they let the prince put himself at risk like this? And the Duke, he makes a face. You know, the face that villains make right before revealing their evil plan. You know the one I'm talking about.
I call that like the Jafar face from Aladdin.
Ooh.
He had like the best face for that.
Yes, right before he revealed. Yes, I love it. And he spills. The champions are going to toast to the gods. And Caltain, she's going to be the one up there, and she's going to be able to slip something into Celaena's drink.
Okay. So, whoa, Caltain's down for a lot of shady shit, but not murder. Hard pass. That's not her scene at all. The Duke, however, is quick to soothe her delicate conscience. It's not to kill Celaena, he insists, just to rattle her enough for Cain to sweep the win, you know. Oh, and by the way, the king himself signed off on this.
Of course he did.
The plan, make it look like a tragic little accident so Dorian doesn't suspect the thing. Real classy like. But let's pause for a second. They're this terrified of Celaena beating Cain, even with all his stolen superpowers.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Can't take the L like champs, huh? Meanwhile, Caltain's off in her own little world, buzzing at the thought of finally escaping her creepy Gollum-esque obsession with the throne, her crown, and of course, the prince.
My precious.
That was her Gollum attempt, of course. That was a very...
Oh, it's terrible.
No, it's okay. It was a very genuine Gollum attempt. I appreciate it. Or Smeagol, for anyone else. A glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel? Sure. But is it real or just another carrot dangling on the string?
Seriously, the way the Duke looks at her, I think he knows exactly what her game is, what game she's playing. Babe, can we just agree that he knows that he's maybe, a 4? And she's a solid 9, 10.
I'd give him a 2.
A 2? Well, I mean, I don't really know what he looks like. I guess we could look it up. But okay, 2, 4, whatever. But she's still like a solid 10, 9, 10, probably. Easily. There's no way he doesn't realize that he's punching way above his weight here, right?
Yeah, he does know that he's punching
Which
above
is
his
why
weight.
he's suspicious of her.
Exactly. Let's talk about that awkwardness between Dorian and Celaena for a moment. So when it comes to a first kiss, being a guy at 19 years old, it gets a little awkward because you don't know how she truly feels because you've had this weirdness between you this whole time. Then you have a kiss, you have a beautiful night at the Yulemas Ball, you have a great moment, great kiss, and then you both wanted more, but you both felt it was wrong because she's an assassin, he's a prince, you're from 2 different worlds, and they both left. So it could feel a little awkward. So I get it where he didn't want to mention it, even though she's upset that he didn't mention it, but he doesn't know how she feels about the kiss.
To be fair, she didn't mention it either.
Exactly.
Either one of them could have mentioned it, so they both made it very awkward for me. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
Well, thankfully, it wasn't awkward for too long.
No, because they did talk about it.
We did switch to the puppy.
Yay!
Who has a name.
Yay. Fleetfoot. I love it.
Swear to God, that dog dies.
No,
I'm going to be so mad.
I know, sweetie. John Wick, I know.
I will burn the book. No, I'm just kidding. I will never burn a book. I will just be very upset. Everyone remembers Artax, as I mentioned earlier from Neverending Story. Sad moment.
Then we find ourselves with Caltaine and Duke Borington.
Plotting.
And scheming. They're trying to take Celaena out. Well, they're trying to weaken her so that she can't possibly win.
Well, it makes sense because now Caltaine knows who she really is. The beans have been spilled.
She knows she has to up her game. And it sounds like she is willing to do whatever it takes. Minus murder. She was not willing to be the one to do the murder.
Which is actually surprising because I thought that she was willing to do anything it takes, but it seems she has some type of moral compass. I think she just wants
just one step away. She was willing to hire someone to include the Duke, but she was not willing to actually pour poison that would kill her into the cup. But do we know that the poison won't kill her?
That we don't know, but here's my thing as well. If you are wanting to be the queen of Aurelia, you're going to have to do anything it takes, and that includes murder. So she needs to really think about that.
I think if it comes down to it, she would.
I agree.
I think she is that bent on being the queen.
I agree.
All
right. You ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's go.
On to chapter 41.
Whispers in the dark. The clock chimes 10 p.m. and Celaena knows that she should be sleeping, but sleep isn't happening tonight. She's deep into her research on the word marks, obsessing over how long it must have taken Nehemia to learn them. And then the bigger question, how do these marks still work when magic itself is gone?
That's a good question.
As Celaena has not seen Nehemia since the ball last night. That didn't seem like a long time, but all right. She didn't dare approach her, though, or tell Kel anything about what she's learned. But now, sitting here, the second guessing begins. Maybe Nehemia has a perfectly good reason to be so secretive. Maybe Celaena just jumped to conclusions. Then she turns the page in the book, and her heart stops. On the page in front of her are the exact same symbols that she had seen near the dead bodies. And in the margins was a chilling note. And I'm going to read what it says. For sacrifices to the Ritterak, using the victim's blood, mark the area around it accordingly. Once the creature has been summoned, these marks guide the exchange. For the flesh of the sacrifice, the beast will grant you the victim's strength.
Holy shit!
Oh my goodness.
So the creature is called a Ritterak.
Oh my goodness.
So now we have the name for a creature. Celaena is flipping through the book like her life depends on it because, let's be real, it kind of does. She's hunting for more clues, desperate to connect the dots between the symbols under her bed and this new horrifying revelation about the Ritterak. But nope, nothing, nada. Except for one chilling detail, the Ritterak itself. Here's the real mind explosion. The Ritterak is coming through the word gates. Someone out there is using word marks to open a portal and summon this nightmare beast. But how? Magic is supposed to be gone. Except shit just got real. Word marks don't play by magic's rules.
What?
They exist outside of it, and suddenly the puzzle pieces start snapping into place. Celaena's brain laser focuses on Nehemia again. Why would Nehemia need the champion's strength? The theory fits a little too perfectly. But hold up, spiral alert. What if Nehemia is pulling some next level power move, like letting the king wreck Elway completely just to spark rebellion? This is chess, not checkers. And Celaena is stuck playing both sides of the board.
Okay, I really feel like Celaena and I could use a wall and some red string.
Oh, I see. With the
Yeah, Lincoln here and
I
here
know
and
exactly.
there.
I know exactly what meme.
Yes, you
I forget
do.
the actor's name. Charlie Day, I think.
I know exactly what
Yeah,
meme
that
you're talking
meme.
about too.
Yep.
So why the champions? If Nehemia wanted chaos, the royals were a much bigger target, and they were at the ball. That would have been the perfect opportunity to strike. So none of it's adding up. None of it's making sense.
It makes no sense for Nehemia to attack champions.
And then Celaena's been in Nehemia's rooms, and there is no hiding spot in her rooms for a beast like this, let alone that kind of beast. Where in the castle could something like that even hide is the question. And then she sees it, the tapestry.
Is there a
The
stag?
one, no, the one with no magically appearing stag on it. And the realization hits her like a ton of bricks. There's no magical stag. No, sorry. The endless forgotten tunnels beneath the castle.
That magically appeared like a stag?
Probably. And she bolts up and she shoves the chest aside that she had placed in front of it. And her brain races, putting pieces together. Every murder has happened within 2 days of a test. That means tonight or tomorrow night, the Ritterak is going to strike again. And with those marks under her bed, nope, she's not waiting. She's not waiting for it to show up in her room. She's got to go find it.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the first time we're finding out that each champion that has been murdered, it's been 2 days before the test?
Yes, that's the first.
Okay, so she's just figured that out.
I think so.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure we didn't miss anything.
At least I didn't put that together. Seems that she just put it together. So we're all on the same page, it seems.
It looks like we're not going to have our Artax moment because she shuts Fleetfoot out of the room. Thank God. So sorry, sweet pup. And props the secret passage open with the book. One flick of the tapestry and she's off, armed with her trusty piddly candlestick. And because life's a theater of bad decisions, her Act 1 hairpin turned knife. And just like that, she descends into the tomb.
The descent is endless. Celaena glances at the middle archway as she reaches those crossroads. Freedom is close, but she's not thinking about escape anymore. She's too close to winning to risk it now.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Is this where Obsidian and Garnet show back up for another game show?
No, I don't think so, because she chooses a new passageway this time, one we didn't even know about. She hasn't explored it yet. She goes that direction because there are footprints now in the centuries-old dust that she did not create. So someone's been down here. Down and down and down she goes. The landing above disappears, and she still doesn't see any bottom in sight. And then she hears them. Whispers.
Ooh.
Getting louder.
The whispers slither along the walls, wrapping around her like icy tendrils. Celaena shields her candle, her breath catching as she listens. Is that chanting?
Ooh.
Her pulse skyrockets, the voice is harsh, guttural, something out of a nightmare. The language scrapes against her ears, pulling every ounce of warmth from her body. But here's the one thing she does know. It's a man's voice, not Nehemia's.
Oh, good.
Woo! Crisis averted for now.
Okay. Friendship intact so far.
And the landing, a sticky greenish light oozes out of a room to her left. She creeps closer, each step deliberate, her heart pounding like a war drum. And then she sees him.
Who?
Cain.
What?
Kneeling before a darkness, an absolute darkness.
Okay, my heart is pounding. Well, that was a way to end a chapter. Woo!
Yeah, so word marks look familiar.
Finally, she sees some that look familiar, the ones that are around the dead bodies. But she doesn't see the ones that were under her bed. So maybe those were
are
different?
protective.
Maybe those are protection.
No, there was the one that was near Varen's body, unless that one was also a protection. Maybe someone's trying to protect Varen with one of the word marks.
But maybe the word mark in the middle was the one that marked him and the ones around it were protective. I don't know. I mean,
either way, this led us to what the creature is, which we now know is called a Ritterak. We still don't know what it looks like.
But we're glad it's not Nehemia.
And what the hell is Cain doing down there? I know you brought it up earlier before we started recording. You mentioned a green light. You want to talk to me about that? So what is significant to you about this green light?
There was a greenish light way back at the beginning, I think in our first episode.
The fireplace.
The fireplace. Yes, there was a strange greenish hue emanating from the fireplace. It was a very brief, but it was, that's interesting. And I noted it.
Okay, well, speaking of interesting, I'm going to really go for a tinfoil hat moment. This is Pacific Ocean probably, but in the first 6 chapters, when they're looking at Rifthold for the first time in the dark, she mentions a seafoam green hue. Now, it could be glass, could just be the glass, normal glass hue, but I think she said it kind of glowed a little bit. I can't remember, so don't quote me. But if it did, maybe, and just maybe, it could be a giant, like, portal site,
like a
word
conduit?
Gate conduit. Yeah, maybe. Again, huge tinfoil hat there.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
yeah. So with that one, I'm ready to turn the page. Are you?
I am. Let's go.
Here we go. Chapter 42.
The Beast from the Darkness.
It all clicks. Cain is growing stronger because he's siphoning the dead champion's strength. Celaena watches in horror, and greenish light snakes up from the floor, feeding into a dark void. One of Cain's hands is bleeding, and then something moves. A claw scrapes against stone.
Ugh.
The Ritterak emerges, and it's every bit the nightmare she imagined. Gray, hairless skin stretched tight over a grotesque, warped head with a mouth full of razor-sharp black fangs. Basically, if a Demogorgon and a Xenomorph had a baby, this would be it.
Okay, that sounds like something straight from my nightmares, my worst nightmares.
Everybody's nightmares.
Ugh.
It kneels before Cain, submitting like some hellish pet.
Oh my God.
And that's when it hits her. This isn't just dangerous. This is pure evil. Pure, unrelenting evil. Elena was right all along.
Speaking of Elena, the amulet she gave her pulses at Celaena's neck. She steps back, and Cain whirls to look at her, as does the Ritterak, sniffing the air. As if on cue, though, the wind pushes at her back so hard that it makes her stagger into the room.
It wasn't meant to be you tonight, says Cain, but he won't pass up this opportunity. Well, I guess we were wrong in the last episode. Whoops.
Yeah, I did not call that one correctly. Cain, she says as she stares into the void that is the Ritterak's eyes. It's hunger. Ageless hunger. That's all she saw. This creature was definitely not of this world. The word marks worked. The word gates were real. My heart is pounding. She pulls out her pathetic hairpin knife out of her pocket. Like, what's that even going to do against this Ritterak's hide? Come on. Okay, honey. It's your turn to read.
Keep going. What's going on in the story?
It's your turn to read, sweetheart.
I'm sorry. I was invested. I was fully invested. Woo! All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Cain disarms her like it's nothing, pocketing her pitiful excuse for a weapon with a smug grin. He slams the door shut, trapping her in the room. Celaena's heart sinks. She's completely defenseless. The eerie green glow from the word mark seems to mock her, casting just enough light to spotlight her impending doom. The Ritterak starts stalking her, each step deliberate, sniffing in the air like it's savoring the scent of her fear. It's waiting, biding its time for the blood to run hot. Panic tightens its grip on her, and her thoughts spiral out of control. No one will find her body. Chaol will think she ran away. She'll never get to make things right with Nehemia.
Wow. But then something clicks. A realization, and she knows where she has to go, though her plan is reckless at best. The Ritterak then charges. At the last moment, Celaena leaps over its head, baiting it to break the door. The creature crashes through the wood, and she bolts.
Run, Celaena, run!
She doesn't have time to make it to her chambers, though, so instead, she sprints for the tomb. She's bounding down the stairs. She reaches the illuminated tomb just as the Ritterak skids past the door.
Go!
It recovers and resumes its pursuit, but she's faster because she flung herself into the room by the door. She's running between the sarcophagi, and she makes her desperate play for Damaris. Remember?
Yes, the sword. Get it?
Yeah. The blade gleams in the moonlight as the Ritterak lunges. Celaena twists mid-air and drives Damaris straight through the creature's face. They slam into the wall. Black blood is spraying everywhere. Her hand is trapped between its jaws. Her blood is now mingling with its ooze. Ew, gross. She doesn't let go until its eyes dim and the beast collapses on top of her.
Oh, thank God it's dead.
My heart is racing right now.
All right, so the amulet's throbbing because impossible to ignore, forcing Celaena to move. She wipes the sword clean, placing it back where it belongs, and whispers her thanks to Elena's sarcophagus before stumbling away.
Very respectful, very demure.
But her wound refuses to clot. Ice creeps through her veins as she collapses at her chamber door, the world tilting out of focus. Boom!
Ugh.
Nehemia explodes in the room, shouting Celaena's name like a battle cry. She drags her to the bathing pool, plunging her injured hand into the water, pain searing through her. But Nehemia doesn't falter. Chanting in a language Celaena doesn't recognize, Nehemia fights to keep her steady as glowing turquoise word marks snake up her arms, humming power.
Oh my gosh.
The room surges with light, electricity dancing across Celaena's skin. Her body tingles, her senses flicker, and then darkness, unconsciousness claims her.
Oh, man.
All right, I need a strong
This
drink.
chapter.
I am pouring me one.
That was a real nail biter for me. Like the whole thing, the Ritterak. And then, oh my gosh, Nehemia, oh my gosh.
All right, let's start at the top.
Okay, start at the top.
Let's talk about the speed that man Cain has.
Yeah. So 1 second he was over there and then he's behind her and took her weapon. She is Adderland's assassin. That is some supernatural baloney going on right there.
Well, they said that he's been getting bigger. He's been faster. Remember, he was ahead of the pack even at the very beginning when they were running and training with Brello. He's always been there, but he's just getting bigger and faster and stronger. So that could be how, or it could be some other type of magic too, to where he can just appear and reappear.
I look this way because I have a tinfoil hat on.
Hit me.
Did somebody say the people from the White Fang Mountain were gone?
I don't think they were gone. I think they finally got them to submit. I think they're enslaved now.
Okay.
So I think Dorian's family got them to submit.
Okay.
Or they might still be fighting. They're not gone. They're either still fighting or he got them to submit because Cain has submitted. No, they're still fighting because remember, Cain betrayed his people.
Oh, to become the king's champion. Oh, that's right.
I think some are enslaved, but I think they're still fighting back a little bit.
Okay, never mind. Take my tinfoil hat and throw it over there. So why did the amulet pulse? Was it to warn her and then like the wind pushed her in? What was that all about? It was like forces working against her and with her?
So remember what Dorian said when he told the story about Elena's eye, which is what this is, the eye of Elena.
Mm-hmm.
He said that it protected them against Erewhon when Gavin and her were fighting him and trying to slay him.
Yes.
So it's protection. So that's probably why it was glowing. It was protecting her. That is why it was pulsing. So it was warning her some shit's about to go down.
But it wasn't protection against the Ritterak.
No. It was just warning her like, you're in some danger.
Girl, you in danger. Yeah. You should go. And then the wind just happened to be an ill-timed coincidence?
Correct. Now, let's talk about the Ritterak because the description of Xenomorph and Demogorgon is, for me, on point because I did look up what the son of a bitch looks like on TikTok and, just on Google search to see what a Ritterak looks like. Holy shit. Yeah,
the AI gave you an image.
Thank God she's an assassin. I would have pooped myself if I would have seen that thing run after me. No, thank you.
And at 18, man.
Do you want to see what it looks like real quick? I'll pull it up.
Sure. Yeah, let's pull it up.
All right. So here it is right here. Boom. Look at that. Xenomorph. Yeah. Black eyes, giant teeth, the arms going backwards. Oh.
Like backwards. Oh, that's so creepy.
Like Exorcist shit too. When she was walking down. Did you ever see The Exorcist?
No.
Okay, so there's a part in The Exorcist where
she's walking upside down or whatever.
Yeah, down the stairs.
Yeah.
Imagine that with that face as is like half Xenomorph, half Demogorgon coming at you, running at you.
All right, we should post a picture.
I would probably just die from a heart attack.
We should post a couple of these pictures so people can see it too.
Actually, we should do some more fan art. If you have any other fan art and you want to create a Ritterak for us, and we can post it on our socials and let other people see your art. We would love that. And you can send it to us at bookfor2podcast@gmail.com.
Love it. All right. Now let's talk about Nehemia
coming
to the rescue. Oh my gosh.
So real quick. I might have misread. I'm trying to figure out whose arms were glowing. Is it Nehemia's or is it Celaena's when she's speaking the words?
It's Celaena's.
Okay. So Nehemia must know about Celaena and her possible magic.
What do you mean?
If Celaena's arms are glowing while Nehemia is speaking tongues.
No, I believe that Nehemia is weaving a spell around Celaena to save her life.
Oh, okay. So that's what the glowing is.
Yes, I think the glowing in the water is maybe her conduit for...
Okay, so that's what I thought. Because I thought maybe the chanting from Nehemia was the glyphs or whatever that were already inside Celaena were glowing. I thought that's what that was, that they were just making them glow.
That's an interesting theory. I did not read it that way. And maybe. I don't know. But I thought it was her weaving a spell.
Yeah, I didn't think about that either, and that's also very possible too. Either way, it's magic, and magic is not supposed to be used.
But we just found out that the word exists outside of magic.
And we also know that the bird is the word.
Oh, heavens.
And with that, are you ready to turn the page?
I am ready to turn the page. Let's go.
Here we are, chapter 43.
Named Secret. Celaena awakens to warmth, candlelight, and the scent of lotus blossoms and nutmeg. She's disoriented. She remembers that she concealed the secret doorway, but she does not remember anything past that. But her injuries are miraculously healed, and she's just got some little scars. Magic. That sounds like magic, right?
100% magic.
She notices that Nehemia is in the room, but she's not looking at her in a friendly way. Her gaze is sharp and very suspicious. Nehemia reveals that she saved Celaena just in time. Her injuries would have killed her otherwise, probably in just a matter of minutes. Panicking, Celaena fears that she actually missed the final test, but only 3 hours have actually passed. As she questions the healing of her hand, Nehemia interrupts her and demands to know, hey, how did you get hurt? All of the blood was in your room. There's nothing to or from. There's nothing in the hallway, nothing anywhere else. It's just in there. What happened? And then that's when Celaena realizes that Nehemia isn't part of Cain's sinister dealings. She might have something going on, but not that. So she decides to trust her, and she reveals her true identity, shocking Nehemia.
Finally.
She recognizes the significance of Celaena being sent to Endovir. Nehemia asks why Celaena hid this. She's hurt by the apparent lack of trust. Celaena explains the king's gag order and the grim terms of the competition, defensively asserting that she really didn't have any choice. Flashes of her trauma rise, but Nehemia grounds her by sitting on the bed beside her and taking her hand. She bestows a new name upon Celaena.
Ooh.
Elena, spirit that could not be broken, reminding Celaena that names don't define her.
Hey, isn't that where you were crying in this chapter when we were reading?
Listen, yeah.
Or ceiling was leaking?
Yeah, the ceiling was leaking, okay?
So her name is Elena.
And this moment cements their friendship. But Nehemia is still ready for answers.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we shift to the next morning. Celaena walks beside Chaol, usually quiet. He assumes she had a fight with Dorian, but she brushes it off, revealing she hasn't even seen him since yesterday morning. So here's my issue with this. It seems like when she hasn't seen anyone in less than 24 hours, she gets very upset. It's 24. Give them some time. 24 hours.
She seems a little needy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Nehemia since the ball yesterday.
I haven't seen them in 10 minutes since I went to the bathroom. Whatever shall I do?
All right, calm down. Calm down, Celaena.
Chaol's tone shifts, sharper now, as he casually asks if she enjoyed dancing with Dorian and then drops the bomb. She's not going back to Endovir.
Okay, so how does he know that? Do you think he just has that much faith in her?
I think he does, but I think also he might be promising her something that even if she loses, maybe he might try to find a way to not send her back. He does have a lot of reach being the captain of the guard.
That's true. Ooh,
I'm hoping.
I'm hoping too.
So Celaena wants to spill everything. Cain, the Riteract, the tunnels, but something stops her. Cain would insist on locking down the escape route, making it impossible for her to return. And besides, the Riteract is dead. There's no reason to stir a panic, right?
Well, I mean, she can't possibly let her escape route go at this point. Just in case she doesn't win the duel, she cannot go back to Endovir. She has to keep that open. She can't tell him about those tunnels. And the Riteract. And the Riteract's dead. I get it.
If the king ever gets word of those tunnels, done. And she's done. Just before practice, Chaol pauses, his expression serious, and warns her to think twice about getting involved with Dorian.
That jealousy or protection for both? Or
I think it's a little bit of both, but also more protection.
For everybody, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's feeling something's coming. Remember, back in the earlier chapters, he did notice something about the Duke with the eyes.
Yes.
And he's questioning about the 500 rebels being killed. So I think he just senses something's off.
Okay.
Now later, after an intense sparring session, sweaty and finally relaxed, they banter about her newfound love of poetry. Celaena playfully defends the nuances of epic poems while Chaol teases her. But as they turn the corner, mid-laugh, they freeze. Standing before them like a shadow swallowing the light is the fucking king of Adderland. He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
I love that. Like a shadow swallowing the light. I love that.
This evil son of a bitch is back.
Oh my gosh. And he witnessed a little bit of uh-oh.
Yeah. Now, as we always do, let's start at the beginning of the chapter. So Celaena's alive.
Woo, Nehemia to the rescue.
That's right. Now, it's only been 3 hours, not days. She didn't miss a test. That's good.
That's good, because if she missed the test, she probably would have missed the duel as well. So, woo. Okay.
And then we're out.
So Elena finally reveals who she is, and Nehemia gives her another name. Because
and it's Elena, right?
Elena.
I hope
clearly
we're
she didn't
that right.
have enough names. She's got Celaena, Adderland's assassin,
We have Lillian Gordina. Did we ever say that right? Gordana. And then now we're, Elena. Spirit that could not be broken.
I love that.
That is very beautiful. But now Nehemia is upset that she didn't spill the beans. However, Celaena has every right to be upset as well, because she was speaking fluent common tongue with no accent.
Yeah. So there's lies going around from everybody. I mean,
but they're good enough friends. I think they're going to talk it out, work out the relationship, and probably find a way to help each other. That's what we're hoping for.
I am hoping, because she finally decides to trust Nehemia with almost all of the secrets. So
Almost.
She still kept the information about Cain and the creature to herself.
But she's also doing that with Chaol as well.
Mhm.
You know, fast forward to that, she's doing the same thing because, as you mentioned earlier, she might want to keep an escape route open, have a way out. And also, she still just doesn't fully trust anyone yet. And I get that. I think she's trusting Nehemia the most out of everyone so far because she's kind of on the same side. She's not a Haviliard and she's not captain of the guard of the enemy.
Yeah, she has no direct ties to Adderland. She's actually in opposition, same as she is. So.
But also, the last time she trusted someone, Sam was killed, sent to Endovier. Someone backstabbed her, got her sent to Endovier, which we don't know who that is. Where's Arrow been in this whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of trust issues for her.
Yep.
So I can understand her, is it trepidation? What trepidation? For not wanting to say anything to anybody right now?
Yeah, you got to keep some things close to your vest. I mean, and the Riderack, like she said, is not an issue. The Riderack's dead. The one Riderack is dead.
The one. Yes. So tinfoil hat. You and I do have a theory that it's not just one. We think it's just a Riderack, just a creature from some dark place somewhere.
I feel like if the Riderack had a name, maybe?
Yeah. And it's not capitalized in the book.
This is Riderack, Steve.
Yes, exactly. It's not capitalized in the book. It's lowercase. So to me, that just tells me it's just a creature from somewhere.
Minions. One of Legion.
So I'm wondering if Kane's just going to order up another one, called Domino's. How Domino's now on the commercials where if your pizza gets messed up, they automatically bring you one for free. Maybe it's like a dial up Riderack.
Oh my gosh.
Domino's is going to bring you a free Riderack for you. Kane there, buddy.
Well, unfortunately, when they did have their little tete-a-tete between Chaol and Celaena, the king was there to witness their friendly banter.
And that's not good to see your captain of the guard having fun with the girl that you locked up, that you see as your enemy, that you hate. That's not a good sign.
Let's see what happens in the next chapter. Maybe we get into that. Are you ready to turn the page?
I am. Here we go. Chapter 44.
The Darkness Within. Okay, so let's dive into this chapter because there's a lot going on. And I need to start with the encounter with the king.
Okay.
Celaena feels the darkness radiating from him. She literally reacts to his presence physically. And there's that ominous connection to the void that I feel, like the one that Cain summoned, where the Riderack came from. The vibes are immaculate if you're going for that terrifying overlord vibe.
So are you saying that the king, the radiating darkness, and the void that Cain summoned could be connected?
That's what I'm thinking.
So tinfoil hat moment for 1 second. With that in mind, the rings that they're all wearing, we don't know if the king has a ring, but the other two have a ring. Do you think it might be connected? So every time the Riderack steals someone's, organs and brain and power, they all get bigger. But then again, I don't know if there's any mention of the Duke getting bigger or more powerful.
Is the king always in battle gear?
That we don't know because the king hasn't been around. We've only seen him in the first 10 chapters and then he left and this is his first time back.
But is he in battle gear here? How did you take that? When she looked in his eyes, how did you take that? I took it that he still had face covering on and that she could just see his eyes. Is he hiding his face for some reason?
It's very possible, or his eyes just could be that intense that that's the only place that she's just drawn to, just like the stag in the middle.
Okay, so then why does Elena want her to get close to the king? Wait, what did you just say about the stag?
Oh, you totally missed the stag
I did.
reference?
What did you
I
just
slipped
say?
that one by you, huh?
You did. And then I was like, wait, what? A stag? What did you say?
Don't worry about it. I just slipped that sucker in there.
Okay. All right. Well, Elena wants her to get close to the king. We're not sure why. What's her game? Does Elena think that Celaena can handle that kind of darkness that she feels emanating off of him? Because by Celena's reaction, her clinging to Chaol as they finish their walk, no, I don't think so. She cannot handle that darkness.
Somebody thinks that she can handle that darkness. Maybe not Elena, but the someone.
The someone who is.
Sent them. Let's talk about Chaol here. He notices how shaken Celaena is and doesn't press her on it. That's growth, my man.
Good job.
He's trying. But what gets me is how this scene emphasizes how much of a presence that son of a bitch has, the king. It's not just his power as a ruler. It's that death energy radiating off him, that black void that she senses.
I wonder if it's actually an energy that actually radiates off of him that maybe because of her Fey lineage that she can feel. Oh, oh, oh. My little tinfoil hat is a little tiny hat.
So are we for sure she has Fey lineage, or are we assuming?
I just assumed.
I mean, it's okay to assume tinfoil hat. So, yeah. I mean, it's right there. We'll just add that.
All right. Well, I'm going to pivot again. Hard pivot to Chaol's post-lunch spiral. He's pacing and he is rereading the report about the king's journey like it's going to change on that 4th read through. He has read it 4 times in the past 10 minutes. And we want to talk about the absolute sketchiness of this report. The king arrives alone and he says that his whole entourage died and he blames poisoned food stores. But no one knows where he went. He had mentioned the White Fang Mountains, but it feels like one of those, don't worry about it kind of situations where he kind of deflects. But Chaol's not buying it. I'm not buying it. Big win for his spidey senses that it feels off and weird. I think my tinfoil hat. I think that the king sacrificed them to a Ridderak type creature to consume all of their powers. Maybe that's what she senses radiating off of the king. Oh my goodness.
That's very possible, considering even though all 3 have rings, I think it's true that Duke Harrington Borrington hasn't grown at all like the other 2. So you could be right. Maybe the king and Cain had their Ridderaks and that's how they were getting power. So everyone that died is in the White Fang Mountains, right?
No, he mentions kind of like that he might be going to the White Fang Mountains.
Okay.
But that's all they know. They have no idea where he went. All they know is that he came back with nobody.
And a little bit more powerful.
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just how she feels about him, but something is definitely weird about how he returned.
Well, it makes sense that Chaol's not brushing this off. But then we see where his thoughts go next. Celaena. He notices how terrified she was around the king and starts reflecting on her assassin abilities. Like she's back to being this unstoppable force, but he's grappling with what happens if she wins. Let's just pause on this for a moment where Chaol realizes that if she becomes someone's champion, they're basically unleashing the world's deadliest assassin. And he helped train her back to this peak. Like, am I the bad guy energy here? Chaol's going full existential crisis.
Rightfully so. He took her from almost starving to death in Endovir to back to peak performance. He's commented on just how awesome she really is at all of her jumping and running and moving around. All of the assassin things that she needed to do, she's at that peak, if not better now, because he also helped her in her training. So rightfully so. That's what makes his concern about the king's secrecy even more interesting. Did the king leave Chaol out of the loop because he was laughing with Celaena and he saw that? And now he doesn't trust his own captain of the royal guard?
Hold on, I didn't even think about that. That's a legit question right there.
What do you mean you didn't think about that?
I, for some reason, didn't think about that. Because the whole them laughing, having fun together, that he might, deduct some reporting.
Information.
Keep it. I didn't even think about that. That might be the cause. Maybe, so I just thought maybe the king just didn't want people knowing what the hell he was doing, even the captain of the guard. He just really wanted to keep it that secret. But you could be right that he just saw how close these two were getting and was like, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he'll find a new confidant instead of his captain of the royal guard. Interesting. Well, Chaol second guesses himself. Nah, that can't be it. He's on the king's side for some strange reason. No, that's not it. He doesn't not trust me. Let's be real. I don't think he should have dismissed it that quickly.
So I think Chaol's torn. This is showing that Chaol is torn with his loyalty to the king in Adderland and what's really going on in all of Aurelia and what the king is actually up to.
And what he sees as the world's worst assassin is just this person. It's not just this mythical figure. It's a real person who did things for a specific reason.
Well, imagine you're told something over and over and over again your entire life for 22 years. You believe so wholeheartedly in it that you become, at 22 years old, the youngest probably, in my guess, they didn't say it in the book, but I'm guessing the youngest, captain of the guard for the king. So you believe wholeheartedly in this stuff. And now, Chaol's whole world has now been flipped upside down. He sees this assassin who's supposed to be this great killer is just a normal 18-year-old girl who's been through hell and back. And then he sees the atrocities his king is doing. He should have seen it in the first place with, burning cities and destroying shit. But now I think Celaena has helped him open his eyes. Like the softness of Celaena and being around her has really helped him change his viewpoint of the world.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Helped him see beyond just rifthold, basically.
Exactly.
Well, let's not also overlook how much he has on his plate on top of that. He's trying to solve the murders. He's trying to keep Celaena on track to win the competition. And he's trying not to lose his mind over how much trouble she's going to stir up in the future. So he's got a lot going on.
And that's a perfect point of how we give Chaol Chip. I'm just joking with the whole Chaol Chip thing. We give him a lot of shit at the beginning. But as a character, he's had a lot of growth. He does have a lot on his plate. He's young. He's got a lot going on. He's feeling jealousy for the first time. He's still trying to protect his friend. I mean, there's so much on this young man's plate.
Yeah, but growth is good.
Growth is definitely good. Speaking of growth, the king has gotten so much bigger.
Has he? I didn't notice that was a thing.
In power.
His
in
presence.
power. His presence has gotten bigger. Yes.
We don't know power. We don't know anything about his power yet.
But I don't think when she was around him, when we met him in the earlier chapters, that she mentioned feeling this radiant power. I remember she just couldn't look at him, but I don't think she mentioned this power that she now feels, which feels like the void around Cain.
I don't know.
So I just think that he might have souped up a little bit while he was gone.
Oh, I don't disagree with that, but I don't know if that's what she's feeling. But maybe. I think she just has a reaction around him, and I think we just don't know why yet.
Oh, you mentioned the Ritterak collecting power. This dude went full Thanos. And like collecting the different gemstones here around collecting powers. You know, he's getting all powered up, about to unleash some shit. I think, yeah.
All right.
We're not safe.
We're not safe. She's not safe. No one's safe.
You ready to move on?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Buckle up for chapter 45.
The Shadows of Cain. Celaena and Nox are sparring. Let's be real. Her focus is elsewhere. Her eyes keep darting to Cain, who, annoyingly, doesn't even have the decency to act rattled that she's still breathing. It was like he expected her to be there. He just throws her one of those smug, taunting smiles as if to say, "Oh, you're still here."
That might play into what we thought about extra Ritteraks.
I believe so. He's like, oh, well.
He has to know that one's dead.
I mean, obviously, if she's alive, it would be dead.
Well, also, he said that it wasn't his plan to kill her that night anyway. She just happened to be there.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Nox isn't oblivious, and he senses that the vibe is shifting, and he starts poking around. Celaena, though, her mind is spinning like a hamster on caffeine, and she's obsessing over how did Cain summon that thing, and the freaky void that it crawled out of. What does it mean? So she's shaking off this Cain spiral, and she tunes back just in time to hear Nox throw out a curveball. And he teases her, "Oh, well, you seem to enjoy your royal date at the ball."
Yeah, she did.
Big mistake. Cue the death stare from Celaena. Mind your own business, Nox. But because, like a lot of men, he has zero survival instincts, his eyes land on the scars marking her hands. New scars, the kind of scars that you don't get from a paper cut. So he clocked those new scars. That's interesting.
Oh, he's smart. He's not stupid.
Nope.
Again, she warns him to mind his own business, but he presses. She told him and Paylor to stay in their rooms the other night. Nox knows she knows something. She only tells him that the deaths of the other champions were not an accident and he should flee the castle. Nox isn't dumb. He kept glancing at Cain during their talk and he figured out that Celaena's not who she says she is. Now Nox knows. After racking his brain like a supercomputer, he figures it out. Figures out who she really is. But what shocks him the most is she's, quote, just a little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a little girl can't be the most deadliest assassin. In fact, I would think that would be the most deadliest assassin because no one would suspect a little girl.
I think that's exactly why the king kept it a secret of who she was and let them believe that she was older. Well, Celaena shows Nox the scars on her hand, hints at the creature, but doesn't bother explaining it to him. He probably wouldn't believe her anyways. Instead, she urges him to leave. There are 5 champions left, which means there's going to be one more attack. She promises him, "Hey man, I am not lying." And for some reason, he can tell that she is dead serious. So he thanks her, the queen of the underworld, with a grin.
Do me a favor. Rip Cain's head off.
Ooh, that sounds like a promise she'd be willing to keep. She knows Chaol will question her about this little conversation later, but as long as her friend is safe, she doesn't care. That night, Nox vanishes into the shadows, leaving nothing behind but the faint echo of his gratitude.
Leaving nothing behind but a faint echo, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the 0.0001% chance he can come back.
He could come back.
He could be.
You're just so upset about those gray eyes, aren't you?
I know. All right. I know it's the Ritterak. It's not Nox. I'm sorry. Poor Nox. But
Cain and the Ritterak. All right.
He might still come back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, guess what? Hey, it's Rompie. And she's tripping balls again. This time on her way to a dinner party with Borrington. Normally, she wouldn't go full chase the dragon in public, but these headaches are next level brutal. As she wanders the halls, the trip takes a sharp nosedive into nightmare territory. At the far end of the corridor, a figure appears, and shadows seem to pour off him, slithering across the walls like something out of a horror flick.
Whoa.
Is this just a bad trip, or is some shit about to get real?
Maybe she has some bad stuff.
I hope it's just a bad trip and shit's not about to get real for her. That would be terrible. Her head throbs, whispers of wings flutter in the air, and suddenly her vision is full of circles and shapes. None of it makes any sense. Kane saunters past her like just another Tuesday, oozing that creepy, cocky energy. So is Kane coming down the hall.
Interesting.
Possibly putting out creepy shadows, or it could just be her little opium trip.
Could be, but why would she see that on him and no one else?
That's a good question.
And he's the one who's doing all the shady shit, so...
Unfortunately, though, the next thing she knows, she's in the Great Hall, sitting at Borrington's table with zero memory of how she got there and what the hell just happened.
Sounds like she was tripping too hard, and now she can't remember. She doesn't even remember by the time she got there that she saw that.
Remember, anytime she has those, like, really strong headaches, and maybe being around Kane and being around those rings causes those headaches, and that's why she can't remember seeing Kane in the hallway. She's just, oh, I'm here at this.
But she doesn't say
now.
that she has a headache.
I thought it says that she has pain as he walks by, like these headaches are next level brutal. She wanders the hall, takes a nosedive, nightmare territory. Yeah.
No, she was doped up this time because the headaches were so rough right now.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't usually go in public like this, but it was just so bad. She's like, I gotta. So she's thinking, I'm going to trip, but this can't be a trip. And then she forgets by the time she gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sucks for her.
Yeah. Well, 2 days after Kissgate, as we're calling it, Celaena and Dorian find themselves in her room, deep in a surprisingly intense game of chess. Despite the lighthearted vibe, Celaena's still battling her own feelings for the prince. She wants to trust him, to tell him everything, but he's still a Haviliard. The name alone makes her hesitate. But then there's him, Dorian. He's kind, he's clever, maybe a touch too cocky, but he's nothing like his father. And yet she can't help but wonder why he even wants her. Then bam, checkmate. Celaena wins. Dorian, ever the smooth operator, takes the opportunity to casually reach for her hand.
Casually?
Yeah, bold little move. And did she pull away? No, not even a little bit. And we're going to read this because it is too stinking cute.
Quote.
One needs both hands to play chess.
I think you only need one. See, as his hand moved over the chessboard.
She chews her lip, but still not pulling her hand away. Are you going to kiss me again?
I'd like to. She couldn't move as he leaned toward her closer and closer, the table groaning beneath him until he stopped, his lips just a hair's breadth from hers.
I ran into your father in the hall today.
And
Skirt!
Yep, there it goes. Blue balls.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing like causing a man blue balls and speaking about his mother or father, parents, whatever.
Right when things are about to get hot and heavy, potentially.
Right, absolutely terrible. Well, in Dorian's frustration, he presses her and says, and?
And it was fine.
She lies, her voice flat. Dorian doesn't buy it for a second. He thinks she's dodging because she doesn't want to kiss him. But the truth is far messier. She's terrified of Kane, of what he might do, of the Ritterack, and of the new chalk mark she found under her bed again. She wants to tell him everything, but the words won't come. Instead, she does the only thing that feels safe. She distracts him with a full-blown kiss attack. No words, no explanations, just lips, and that was that.
I mean, very effective. It
yeah,
works.
A little bit of...
It works every time.
Oh, yeah, of course. If you want us to shut up, just full-on kiss attack.
Yeah. Well, after hours of making out, seriously, hours, Celaena finally sends Dorian on his way. Not because she wants to, but because if Kane decides to make his move tonight, the last thing she wants is for Dorian to get hurt. Aw. Sleep isn't on her agenda anyway. Her arsenal, she has a shank, a heavy book, and a candlestick. Basically, if this were a game of Clue, she'd be set.
It was the candlestick, Kane.
In the tomb, in the passageway.
Boom, there it is.
But in real life, she's kicking herself for leaving Damaris behind in the tomb. That was really a rookie move. I don't know why she did that. Maybe just out of principle.
She probably didn't think she needed it again.
As for Kane, she figures he must have learned about the word marks while living in the White Fang Mountains. That eerie stretch near the Witch Kingdom we find out about. The place practically drips with bad vibes. Rumors of iron-toothed witches wandering the roads and ancient evils lurking in the shadows. She's not sleeping tonight. I'm not either. Because, of course, there is no rest for the wicked.
Of course not. So we just learned a little bit more about Aurelia with the Witch Kingdom.
I like it.
So there's iron tooth witches wandering the roads. Nope. No, thank you. I'm good.
And it's right on the edge of where Cain came from. So maybe the witches and the White Fang Mountain people kind of crossed over or coexisted or maybe shared information with each other.
Very well could be.
Okay.
For this next scene, we are just going to read it real quick because it's very short. Here we go. Thundering hooves beat the frozen ground faster and faster as the rider whipped the horse. Snow and mud lay thick on the earth and rogue snowflakes drifted through the night sky. Celaena ran, swifter than her young legs could manage. Everything hurt. Trees ripped at her dress and hair. Stones sliced her feet. She scrambled through the woods, breathing so hard she couldn't muster the air to cry for help. She must reach the bridge. It couldn't cross the bridge. Behind her, a sword shrieked as it was drawn from its sheath. She fell, slamming into the mud and rock. The sound of the approaching demon filled the air as she struggled to rise. But the mud held fast, and she could not run. Reaching for a bush, her small hands bleeding, a horse now close behind,
Celaena gasped and awakened. It was just a nightmare. She bolts awake, clutching the eye of Elena, her heart pounding. When did she even fall asleep? She doesn't even remember doing that. Hours later, the news hits. Nox is gone, and the final test has been canceled. Well, that's good news.
Definitely good news.
But that means they're going straight to the duels tomorrow. But who's she going to face first? Grave, the sleazeball assassin, Renault, the arrogant ginger, or, worst of all, Big Daddy Kane. All that stands between her and freedom now is finishing these duels. There's no pressure.
Yeah, zero pressure,
No
but
pressure.
Nox is safe. So
Yes, her friend is safe.
friend is safe, and that's all that matters.
I mean, she basically was like, listen, bro, even if you get past this test, you can't beat everyone here. There is no chance for you. You need to go.
Well, she cares.
And then once he found out who she was, he was like, deuces.
Oh, yeah, because now he's like, okay,
I understand who you are, and I want no part of that.
all right. But now, other than Nox, we pretty much got our final four.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew going in it was going to be Kane. It was going to be Celaena. We thought Nox. We totally forgot about Renault. We knew Grave was most likely going to be there, but I think he's going to probably get his ass whooped most likely by somebody. He doesn't seem as important as the other three. Like Kane and Grave might stick around for a little bit. Caltain's tripping some major balls. Or is she?
What do you think she saw? Do you think?
I think she legit saw a shadow come off of Kane. I mean, now that
A shadow or shadows?
now that we know what Kane's doing,
I mean, if he's making green stuff pop up off of the ground or whatever by touching the stones in the passageway, he can probably emit shadows, or maybe that's part of what the black stone is or part of what the clock tower. I don't know.
I think the important part is she doesn't know what's going on. So the Duke is keeping her out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if she would have seen Kane like doing all that stuff with the ring, like, if she was in on it, then this wouldn't have been a thing. But because this short little part that SJM wrote about Caltain is walking down the hall, is she tripping balls, or did she really see something from Kane? I think she really saw something from Kane, but she doesn't know, so she's not in on it. She just wants to become part of, she wants to be Dorian's queen, and she'll do anything to get it, but she doesn't know the extent of the shit that she's in right now.
Yeah, she has no idea what she's into.
I mean, yeah, they're just completely keeping Caltain out of the loop. So I'm wondering if she finds out what's really going on, she might switch sides, because she doesn't seem like a murderer, maybe.
I don't know. It really depends on how just I will do anything she really is. How much conviction does she actually have with that?
I mean, one thing I like is character growth.
Mhm.
So maybe that could be a character growth for her, being a spoiled little princess who gets everything she wants. She wants to be queen. Maybe by the end of this book, she will see some crazy shit happen, and maybe her mind will be changed. Maybe she'll become a good person. Who knows? It could happen.
I guess it could happen. I'm thinking something else is gonna go crazy with Caltain.
Look, I mean, Caltain is a very fun character because we don't know what's going on with her. That's
Yeah,
what's so fun.
no
Like
idea.
every time we run into Caltain, some crazy shit is happening, and it's more cryptic than Elena at this point.
Yeah, it really is. Like, she's got the headache. She's got the shadows that she's seeing now. Like, does she have some kind of Fey lineage? Is that how she's able to see these things?
Well, something's going on with the headache, so
for sure.
man, I didn't realize how much of Caltain we don't know. I think we
really
know
don't.
less about her than anybody, honestly.
Yeah, you might be right.
That's crazy.
Well, Celaena is still conflicted with Dorian. Speaking of not knowing about things.
She's been conflicted this entire book.
Well, he's a Haviliard. She's supposed to hate him.
I get it.
She's supposed to hate him, and she just doesn't.
No, I totally get it. But at this point,
She knows she likes him. She's not that conflicted.
well, she's still conflicted though. She lost the love of her life. I mean, the love of her life that we know of. We didn't read Assassin's Blade, but what we know of Sam sounds like probably someone she's in love with back then. He was murdered. She got betrayed. She's got trust issues like crazy. And then, so now the man of the king, like the son of the king, who is now showing feelings for you, and you're not supposed to show feelings for him back. You're supposed to want to kill him.
Yeah.
My feelings would be conflicted too.
Well, she does recognize that he is not his father and that he is his own person and completely, like, they are night and day from each other. So that's probably the only pro that's leaning in his direction in that case.
She's noticing that, but I'm also wondering if she's hoping that this is not a facade, that this is real Dorian, and that he will not eventually turn into the king. Because again, he's still just 19 years old. So a lot can still happen. You can still, just because you're one thing one day, when you become an adult, a lot of different things can happen.
Wow. Did you just go like Star Wars on me and you're thinking Anakin?
It could be Anakin.
Is that Anakin?
I mean, that's super tinfoil hat, though.
Okay, like
I don't think Dorian's going to turn like Darth Vader, Anakin bad guy. That'd be a cool twist, though.
Okay.
But we're going to file that one as like the Mariana Trench. Was that the Mariana Trench? Yeah,
Yes.
Mariana Trench of tinfoil hats. Dorian sometime in this series turning bad. I highly doubt it's going to happen.
Yeah, all right.
Speaking of bad shit, let's talk about that nightmare that she had.
That's interesting. A nightmare. That sounds like it is a memory nightmare, right?
Yeah, but is it a memory from when she got caught, or is it a memory from maybe when Sam got killed?
They could be one and the same.
Because to me, that sounds like the two most traumatic experiences for her.
So wait, what are the options according to you?
Sam getting killed. Or her getting captured.
Captured when?
To get sent to Endovir.
I think it's when she was 8. Because doesn't she say her small hand, small fingers, small something?
Yeah, you're right. She probably is when she was young, because it does say young legs.
Yeah, swifter than her young legs could manage. And then it mentioned her small hands were bleeding. That leads me to believe that maybe this is...
So maybe this is what happened to bring her to her father, or...
To Arabin?
Yeah, Arabin.
Maybe.
What happened to her when she was 8 years old?
Yes.
That's possible.
Oh, that's some great stuff.
All right, so we just added to our tinfoil hat a little bit. Are you ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's do this.
Here we go. Chapter 46.
Of hunts and high stakes.
The prince had to take himself out hunting just to stop obsessing over our girl. Seriously, he's out here brooding in the woods, wishing he could be the kind of man who deserves her, a man worthy of a crown. But here's the kicker. He still has no idea how Celaena feels about him. Dorian's used to women practically throwing themselves at his feet, but Celaena? She looks at him like he's the mouse in her personal game of cat and mouse. And then, just as a stag appears, because that's what stags do.
Oh my goodness. Magically.
He lowers his bow. Screw the stag. He decides right then and there that no matter what, his future includes her. Fuck the crown and fuck the kingdom. He just wants our girl.
Wow. And I'll tell you what, we book talk girlies love this trope. Love it. We eat it up.
Yeah. Dark Hallmark.
Yes. Dark Hallmark. Celaena sits alone in her room, making it clear to the guards that she does not want visitors, not even Chaol or Dorian. Wait.
Yeah,
what?
Knowing those two idiots, they'll probably show up anyway.
Probably. That's going to stop them. As the clock strikes midnight, reality sets in. Today is the day. The day her fate will be decided. Today she faces Cain. She hasn't even sparred with him yet. Cain is strong, a brute force to be reckoned with. Celaena knows she's faster, but his stamina could outlast her speed. But losing isn't an option. Her mind wanders despite her resolve. She starts to think about what life will look like, no matter the outcome. When she was Adarlan's assassin, she had control. She got to choose her jobs. There were rules that they followed. But as the king's champion, that freedom was no longer. She would have to do what he said. Or was that what Elena had been hinting at? Nope. She had to force herself to refocus. Focus on the duel. Focus on Cain. Focus on winning. That's all that matters right now.
Well, yeah, but that's still part of Elena's plan, too. She did say no matter what, win, right?
Yeah, she did. You have to be the king's champion.
Gotta be the champion to stop the evil. Because not just the Ritterak.
Yeah, not just the Ritterak. Still, even though telling herself she's got to focus, her thoughts slip back to who she was when she was dragged from Endovir. Back then, she didn't know what she was bargaining for when she made this deal, or that it would mean having so much more to lose. Now she has friends. Now she has him. Or them. And for the first time in a long time, she actually wants to stay.
Okay, I now completely understand this chapter. So she's showing different perspectives from Dorian and Celaena and showing that both of them have chosen each other.
Yes.
So Dorian's like, fuck the crown, fuck my princely duties. I don't give a shit. I want Celaena and only Celaena. And she is saying, screw my freedom. I want him. I want them. Because I think she also wants Chaol.
She wants friends.
She wants friends. Yeah, she has a family.
At least friends. Yes, a family.
Yes, this feels like a real family because
a different family.
We haven't read Assassin's Blade, so we don't know what it was like for her growing up as an assassin under Arobin. So we don't know if she had any family connections. I highly doubt if he made her spend back 500,000 gold and he spent it in 3 hours or some bullshit. So this is her first time feeling accepted and loved by people, especially Dorian.
And she had to work at it too.
Exactly.
Like this was not just given to her. She had to work at this.
Exactly. But I want to also touch on something about her choosing her jobs when she was an assassin, because we touched a lot about her having a conscience. So this again shows that even when she was an assassin, she had a conscience, because I think she also didn't want to kill children and women, right?
Yep.
That was also a part of her thing. So she's kind of like, the only comparison I can think of is Dexter. So she was a killer with morals.
Yes. With a purpose.
And she wouldn't kill anybody from her own homeland either.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
okay.
So that was also in the book. She wouldn't kill anyone from Terrasen either. That was also part of her contract.
Oh, okay. I did not remember that.
Yeah, so again, a very short chapter, but we can see the similarities between the two and how they're falling deeply in love with each other and how they chose each other. So it's a very cute moment for both of them.
It's very cute, very powerful. It is the trope that we book talk girlies live for. One of them. One of the tropes.
Exactly. So you ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's go.
And last but not least, chapter 47.
Duel Day. Weapons of Choice.
Hey, it's Rompier.
Duel Day has arrived, and apparently the perfect setting for this epic event is outside in the freezing cold. It's a choice, naturally. Miss Rompier is not thrilled, but she's a bit preoccupied. She's fingering the vial of poison in her pocket.
Ah, the poison. The poison for Celaena. The poison chosen especially to weaken Celaena. Celaena's poison. That poison?
Yes, that poison.
Gotcha right here.
And of course, she reminds herself, don't mix up the cups. The goblet on the right is for Sardothian. Enter Duke Parrington. Stage left, casually playing human shield as he blocks the council's view. Sneaky. Caltaine seizes the moment, her cloak providing cover while she doses the wine. With the poison in place, she looks up just as Celaena and Cain step onto the field. Her thoughts? Classic Caltaine. Did anyone really think Celaena has a shot against Cain? But it's not just about today. Caltaine's already planning her next moves once Celaena is out of the way. What's that saying about counting chickens or assassins before they hatch?
All right, so I love the Emperor's New Groove reference that we did there, the old Cusco.
Yes, Cusco's poison.
The poison for Cusco.
I love that movie.
It's too bad there's no lever reference.
Yes.
Pull the lever!
Not that lever!
Wrong lever!
Nice.
I love that.
Good job.
Moving on to Celaena, she is shivering. Seriously, who thought it was a good idea to hold the duels outside in the freezing cold? Oh, right. The king. Because making the champions miserable is apparently part of the entertainment. She shoves her frozen hands into her pocket and storms over to Chaol. Why didn't he warn her? Well, it turns out he didn't know either. The king made the call last minute that morning. Typical.
Is that another one instance of him not trusting Chaol?
No, I think it's just him trying to screw around with this whole competition and just have it his way to make sure Celaena's uncomfortable.
I'm wondering if he needs them out in the open. Aren't they in a ring?
That's right. They're by the clock tower, right? They're by
and they're in a ring.
Yes, they're in a ring by the clock tower with the word marks. Oh, shit. Okay. Tinfoil hat. All right. So, with that said, her eyes drift to the head table as the 13 seats quickly fill. The king and Borrington sit at the center, smug as ever, but then her gaze lands on Rompier, and Caltaine is smiling at her.
That's sus.
Yeah, what the hell? Caltaine glances towards the tower, and Celaena realizes what's up. She's looking at Cain.
Oh.
And Cain, he's absolutely ginormous now. His muscles are practically ripping through his shirt, and because this day couldn't get any worse, he's decked out in the garb of the Royal Guard.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Oh, so that tells me the king is 1,000% putting everything on him.
We already knew that.
The guy looks like he straight up walked out of a Marvel movie. He's probably auditioning to be the next Hulk or Red Hulk with the new Captain America movie coming out.
Yeah.
Coming out soon in February. Everybody go see it. I am a nerd. Nausea churns in her stomach. She knows he's unfortunately strong now, and even if she tried to warn someone, ain't no one gonna believe her.
No one's going to believe her. What's the point at this point? Celaena tries not to smirk as Chaol guides her past two very familiar faces. These are past clients. It's a little bit awkward, but she's nothing if not composed. She winks at one of them, smiles at the other one. Their little secrets are safely tucked away in her back pocket. But if it comes down to a vote for who's to be the king's champion, looks like she's got a little in over there.
Oh, yeah. That's the great thing about being an assassin. You have everybody's deep,
little
dark
dirt.
secrets. Ooh,
yes.
Nice.
Well, her attention snaps to the head table, where the king is watching her like a hawk. Her stomach twists as she bows her head, feeling every ounce of his scrutiny. Thankfully, Chaol pulls her back to the moment, asking her if she's ready. She says yes. She doesn't believe that. The word feels hollow. When then Dorian appears, all princely confidence, and Nehemia is here, and she's lingering over on the sidelines. Her nod of encouragement is impossible to miss, and so is the fact that she is wearing battle gear. She is a warrior. She is wearing a tunic. She's got battle gear on. Does she have armor on? I don't remember.
So she's warriored up, huh?
Yes.
Why?
Is she there as just a show of support, like, I'm a warrior, you're a warrior? Or maybe she's ready to jump in if things go sideways.
Well, let's find out. Keep going.
As the king rises, Celaena forces her eyes anywhere but on him. Nehemia's steady gaze becomes her anchor, keeping the swirling chaos at bay. But Kaltain's presence still nags at her. Does she know who Celaena is now? Because Kaltain's never been at any of these tests before. It's a very interesting point. Now the rules are laid out. One-on-one duels with the goal of trapping your opponent in a position of certain death. But you're not allowed to kill them. No John Gwynn.
What the hell?
I know.
Come
I'm sorry.
on.
I'm
It's
sorry.
the last test.
You know it's SJM. Stop it.
Yeah, but I thought Final Four at least. Something.
Well, the king definitely gives her a pointed glare when he says that, no killing. So that rule is clearly for her. He's counting on the fact that it's going to be a lot harder for her to subdue everyone else than for them to subdue her in a position of certain death, but no killing. Cain and Renault are called first. Of course, Cain is the star attraction. He's actually the only one that is called by name when he lists who is fighting who. It's Cain versus so-and-so's champion.
The arrogant ginger, probably.
The king's not so subtle favorite. Then her name is called alongside Grave. So now she knows who she's fighting. Her heartbeat thrums like a war drum. So she's against Grave, and Cain and Renault are going first.
That makes sense. That way, hopefully, our final two will be most likely Cain and Celaena.
I assume that it would be that.
I mean, there's really no reason to assume.
That's kind of how
it's kind of obvious at this point.
We knew that from the beginning, I think.
If it even makes it that far. If it makes it that far.
Oh, that's a good point. All right.
So everyone clears out of the ring, leaving only Cain and Renault. The air practically vibrates with tension as they bow to the king and draw their swords. The king's voice cuts through the silence. Begin. Celaena leans towards Chaol, her frustration bubbling over.
Do you think it's just a coincidence that they've got me fighting second to make me tired before the final round?
Chaol, ever the hopeful realist or just maddeningly naive, replies, "You'll get rest time between matches." Rest time? Seriously? Does this man know how royals play their games? There's not going to be any rest time.
I don't know why he thought that they would give her rest time.
No, he's going to make sure that she's nice and weak because Cain has been getting big and strong and he's not going to be weak after facing Renault.
Chaol's naivete is kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's true. But then he redeems himself with an observation that makes her pause. Cain has a weakness.
Ooh.
He forgets to guard his rights sometimes, he points out. Okay, fine, noted. But Celaena knows Cain is less about tactics and more about brute strength and psychological warfare. She needs to keep her head in the game because he's going to do everything he can to make her lose it. She snaps her attention back to the duel just in time to see Renault take a savage hit to the face. Blood flies and the arrogant ginger hits the dirt hard. 3 minutes. That's all it took. Cain doesn't even look winded.
Oof. Well, okay. That doesn't bode well.
No, not for anybody.
No. Well, let's see what happens between her and Grave, because it's got to be their turn, right?
Right.
And Grave's rotten grin stretches across the ring. Those teeth are practically taunting her on their own. That's so gross. The king announces a brief pause. Hey, guys, prepare your weapons. And then, because he's shady as ever, he leans over and starts talking with Duke Borrington. That's not suspicious? Extremely suspicious. Well, I have no idea, because Cain's already fought, so...
Maybe Borrington's telling him the plan of the poison to slow down Celaena.
Well, supposedly if the king already sanctioned it, then he should already know.
Yeah, he already knows. So he's probably making sure Borrington did it.
Maybe
that's what's happening.
Well, Celaena turns and there's Chaol holding out his sword.
Not what? His personal sword.
Yes, he pulled his own personal sword out.
Do you know how important that would be to somebody in that day and age, especially Captain of the Guard?
Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. This was where it was really dramatic for me. A little bit emotional. The music swells, the whole knight in shining armor thing. It was very effective.
Yes, your ceiling was definitely leaking.
There was a whole thing happening with our ceiling here. And just as her fingers were about to close around the hilt in acceptance of his very generous gift, Nehemia steps in like a goddess descending from the heavens. She lightly touches Celaena's elbow and offers her instead the iron-tipped staff that she had with her. Oh my gosh.
How do you choose between the two?
I don't know.
That is a tough choice because you love both of them and both mean so much to either one of them to take it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Celaena hesitates. She doesn't know what to do. Obviously, the sword makes more sense, but Nehemia's words stop her cold. Let it be with an Elway weapon that you take them down.
And with that, I can probably see Chaol backing off.
Yep. Well, and he does. It echoes Elena's cryptic advice from months ago, and Chaol quietly steps back, lowering his sword. Nehemia just kind of holds her ground, staring at her, waiting for Celaena to make her decision, for her to accept. This isn't just about the duel anymore. It's about something much, much bigger. She is basically telling Celaena, as the king's champion, you could be the key to undermining his authority, maybe dismantling the kingdom altogether. The weight of it settles on her shoulders, but she doesn't have time to dwell on it. She has to decide. She has to take it. It's game time.
I have a couple thoughts on her taking that specific weapon. Mm-hmm. One, Chaol. We have talked about Chaol questioning his values, his morals about being the captain of the guard for this king, right? So with Nehemia saying that to her, if Chaol heard that, the fact that he put away his sword and pretty much like told Celaena, like, you should definitely take this weapon, that says a lot about Chaol.
I mean, didn't earlier she said, SJM said that Chaol was questioning the fact that 500 Elway rebels were just annihilated.
So I'm wondering if this is a moment where Chaol is defying the king and defying Adarlan, because he is choosing to sheath his sword and he's not fighting back saying, oh, well, that's the enemy's weapon. Don't take that. He is...
I don't know why he would ever say that, though. That would be weird.
Because that's the enemy. So he's literally... Think about the kind of symbol this would bring, okay? This is the prince's champion, the Prince of Adarlan. So imagine if the prince's champion took the weapon of the enemy to use in battle.
And that's why she can't hold eyes with Dorian later. We talk about that.
Well, I know, but that's what I mean. It's so big for Chaol because Chaol, as a warrior, you understand that symbolism of taking the enemy's weapon to use as your personal weapon. So Chaol understands what the king is going to see with Celaena using that weapon. So that's a big step for Chaol saying, you know what? I might be done with the king.
How would the king have felt if she had been out there with Chaol's weapon, though? Would he have felt a way about that?
He would have felt a way, but not as big of a way because...
not as big.
Because, again, the king knows that Chaol has been training her the whole time. So to take your sponsor's weapon or your trainer's weapon, it's an important deal, but I don't think the king would question it as much as taking an enemy's weapon.
But we're already worried that the king doesn't trust Chaol, and I feel like that would be like the nail in the coffin that kind of seals it for him. Maybe.
But I think that taking the enemy's weapon might play a bigger deal.
I think he basically wants Duke Borrington as the captain of the Royal Guard anyways, or Kane at this point.
Well, Kane and Duke Borrington fit more with his personality, the king's personality, and wanting to rule the world and take over the world. So yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Dorrington doesn't want any of that shit. So he's going to praise Borrington and screw over his son. But going back to taking the staff, Celaena does take the staff from Nehemia, giving a testing sweep. It's sturdy, well-balanced, perfect. This will do nicely. And remember earlier, she had been practicing with the staff in her training, so she knows how to use that thing. Across the ring, the king is still deep in conversation with Borrington, looking every bit like the puppet master he is. Meanwhile, Gray paces like a caged animal, practically itching to get this over with. She turns to Chaol, her voice soft but resolute.
Thank you. No matter what happens.
He blinks, caught off guard. For what? She doesn't hesitate.
For making my freedom mean something.
And cue Jen's ceiling leak right on her nose. So
come on.
Yes. It was a very sweet moment.
It was.
Because again, that right there just completed the trust between her and Chaol, I think. You know, the bond between those two. She's an assassin and he's a warrior. So that kind of bond is just absolutely One of the strongest bonds you'll ever see.
And he doesn't reply.
No, but his actions speak louder. Taking her right hand, he brushes his thumb across the ring that he gave her. A quiet reassurance that makes her heart squeeze.
Aw.
Let the second duel commence, booms the king, his voice cutting through the tension like a blade. Graves strides into the ring, drawing his sword with a smug confidence that makes Celaena's grip tighten on the staff. Game on.
Celaena steps into the ring with measured confidence, bowing first to the king, then to Grave. Her gaze locks onto him, and a slow, sharp smile spreads across her face.
Let's get it.
She bends her knees, staff at the ready, a predator sizing up her prey. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
And that is where we cut it off, and you have to wait for next week. All right, folks, it's time for He Said, She Said, the game where we test each other's knowledge of this week's chapters by guessing who said what.
Or more accurately, it's the game where I win because Scott either overthinks it or totally blanks out.
Excuse me? I'm just giving you the illusion of superiority. It's called strategery.
Is that what we're calling it? Anyway, we've each picked 3 quotes, and the other person has to guess who said them. 30 seconds, no hints, no lifelines, maybe some multiple choice if he begs.
And apparently no mercy either. Let's get to it before Genevieve starts drafting her victory speech. Welcome back, everybody, to He Said, She Said. As of right now, I think I'm 0 for 5. I'm 0 and 5. You're 5 and 0, right?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
I mean, so is anybody...
You wouldn't take the win last week, so that's on you.
I mean, is anyone even keeping track at this point?
I mean, you seem to be.
It's all in fun, though.
All right, well, I'm going to win today anyways.
Most likely. So you ready for your easy one?
I am. Go.
Oh, you want me to start first?
Yeah, you start.
All right, here we go. Those scars on your hands are new. Uh-huh. Would you like that in a sentence?
Yes, please. Can I get that in a sentence?
In a sentence. All right. Those scars on your hand are new.
Are those added commas or are those included in the actual?
I plead the 5th.
All right. Can you say it one more time, please?
Copy. Those scars on your hands are new.
Okay. The scars on, that is, I believe, Nox saying that to Celaena.
Final answer.
Yes.
You are correct.
Yes.
All right. That is Nox to Celaena when he notices the scars from the Ritterak.
Ritterak, that's right. And that's when she warns him off, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So my easy one. You don't honestly believe that girl is a purebred lady.
Purebred lady.
Yeah, not a horse. Purebred lady.
Not a horse, not purebred horse.
No,
we're talking
purebred
a
lady. Yes.
Like
lady? I'm a lady.
Like rich lady or just an overall lady?
Just a purebred lady.
Can you say that in French?
No.
Okay. So speaking of French, I know Rampier is involved.
Ooh, yes.
Okay, so I think it's Rampier to Caltaine. Or sorry, Rampier to Caltaine. That is Rampier. Rampier to the Duke. Or is it the other way around?
It is the other way around.
Other way around. Okay, yeah. I knew they were both having that conversation.
I was wondering if I was going to trip you up with that one like you did last week to me.
Yeah.
All right. What's your medium one?
Medium. Here we go. You needn't pretend with me. I noticed you watching The Crown Prince.
You needn't pretend with me.
Needn't pretend with me. That could be a lot of people because a lot of people
are noticing The Crown Prince. And then there's also people noticing them noticing. So
there's a lot of
You've
noticing.
got at least the Duke noticing.
Yes.
And you've got Chaol noticing.
And you have the King noticing.
Oh, and I didn't even.
And you have Caltaine noticing. And you have Celaena. I mean, you could even throw Philippa in there if you want to. Maybe Brolo.
All right. Can you say it one more time for me, please? From the top.
From the top. Here we go. You needn't pretend with me. I noticed you watching The Crown Prince.
That is Borrington to Caltaine.
Final answer.
Yes. Yes.
That is correct.
Oh,
good job. Harrington to Caltaine.
All right.
Perfect. All right.
I'm worried that I'm going to stump you with this one too. So
That's
I'm sorry
okay.
about your luck.
Hey.
All right. All right. So my medium one. You went to Endovir?
You went to Endovir.
Mm-hmm. You went to Endovir?
Okay, so that tells me that is to Celaena, because she's obviously the only one that has gone to Endovir.
Correct.
I mean, granted, Chaol and Dorian went there to pick her up, but that's neither here nor there. Same with Borrington.
Mm-hmm.
However, since someone sounds very surprised, right? So can you say that like you're surprised? Please do that.
You went to Endovir?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with that.
I like that. Okay, so Can you do that in a lower voice? Maybe with gray eyes.
You're running out of time, sir.
Gray eyes?
Negative.
What? It's not gray eyes?
No.
I know he was surprised when he found out about her.
I know, but that's not what he said.
Everybody's surprised when they find out about her son, Nehemia.
Yes, it was Nehemia.
Damn it.
I knew it was a 50-50 for you too.
Yes. I thought it was Knox.
Oh, this is fun. All right,
you ready?
Yes, I'm
ready.
ready.
This is my hard one.
My favorite kind.
Milady.
Yes, that's it. Is that all you're giving me?
Milady. 30 seconds.
Are you serious right now?
Milady.
How mad are you going to be if I get this?
I won't be shocked.
What if I looked at this one and was like, no, that's too hard. And now you've done it and I'm mildly upset about it because I'm like, oh, rude.
I didn't think this one was hard though. Even though I put it in my hard one, it's kind of obvious.
Pain to count pain.
Because it's obvious. It's the only thing that's said during that scene. Yeah.
But we had 6-7 chapters. It could have Milady.
Yeah, but that one's kind of obvious. That was an obvious one.
Yeah.
So what's your hard one?
All right, my hard one, Mike's hard lemonade, is it seemed like you were rather enjoying the Crown Prince's attention at the ball.
Seems like you were rather enjoying the Crown Prince's attention at the ball.
Direct quote. Yes.
Direct quote.
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yes,
Were
sir.
you there?
It was Sarah J. Maas said it.
Okay, Sarah J. Maas. So she was there.
Trustworthy. Yep.
Trustworthy source.
Trustworthy
okay.
source.
Is this an adjective?
It could be.
Okay. What's the sentence again?
It seemed like you were rather enjoying
the
Crown Prince's attention at the ball.
Attention. Okay, so someone said that to Celaena.
Yes.
Okay. God.
So who calls him the Crown Prince? Like who would refer to him that way?
A lot of people. Is it Chaol?
No.
Who?
See, I knew this was another one that it could have been a 50. Actually, could have been more than that. This was Knox. This was Gray Eyes.
Damn it. Gray Eyes. Yeah. See, that was my other 50-50. You're right. Knox, Gray Eyes. Okay. Obviously, got my butt kicked. I went 0 for 3. You went 3 no, but for fun, we always have a fourth one.
Yep. All
so go ahead and fire away.
All right. Tell me what you know. Tell me what you know.
Our listeners can't see, but my face is in complete, stunned.
Yeah. Jaw on the floor.
Because what?
Tell me what you know. Any guesses on who may have said it or who they said it to?
Wild. Yeah. That's short. Nehemia to Celaena.
Negative. It is Knox to Celaena.
Oh my God.
It's actually on the same page as the last one.
I feel like you're just messing with me with Knox today.
Tell me what you know. Yeah.
Because he's now
you
gone.
Don't like Gray Eyes.
Well, he's gone and there goes my theory.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm so sorry that your theory. Well, I mean, he's not dead.
He's not dead.
So
I mean, I do have a feeling he's going to pop up again, either as an ally or could still stir up some shit.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well,
all right. So you ready for my last one?
All right. I'm ready.
This is my extra one.
Okay.
Did you enjoy dancing with him at the ball?
That is so close to the other one.
It is, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Because a lot of people notice her, and that's why everyone was pissed, because everyone saw her with, he was dancing with her all night.
Was Knox calling him the Crown Prince. So what did yours say
this
again?
Just says, did you enjoy dancing with him at the ball? Who would call him him? I think a lot of people would say him.
No, that sounds like a friend thing. I'm going to say that is Chaol to Celaena. Him. He's talking about...
All right. Fucking Nancy Drew. Good Lord. 4-0. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So that makes you 6-0 if anyone's really even counting.
No, I just enjoy playing this game with you. It's lots of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I hope everybody is having fun at home and enjoying this segment. Please let us know in our live Q&A, which is every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on TikTok. We're also probably going to try YouTube soon as well. And just let us know if you enjoy this segment.
We look forward to talking with you on Thursday.
All right. You ready for the Assassin's Whispers?
I am. Let's talk to them.
Welcome, Seekers of Secrets, to Assassin's Whisper. I am Obsidian, sharp as a blade, clever as a riddle, and never where you expect me.
And I am Garnet, the shadow you sense but cannot see, and the voice that carries truths only the bold dare to hear.
Together, we are the Keepers of Whispers, guardians of the secrets of Aurelia, entrusted to pass them on to only the most cunning assassins.
This is your covert briefing, a recap of what has transpired in the world of Aurelia. Pay attention, assassin. The truth is a weapon, and we're here to make sure you wield it well.
Listen carefully, for every whisper could mean survival or demise.
Welcome back, my deadly darlings. the whispers have been waiting for you. This week, our Celaena faced everything from deadly creatures to even deadlier secrets, all while naming a puppy, Fleetfoot, a fitting name for someone so small yet so fierce, don't you think?
Indeed, but Fleetfoot's cuteness aside, let's not forget what really matters. Celaena is knee-deep in wordmark research and has uncovered a beast that demands sacrifice for power. And where does she suspect this Ritterak is hiding? The tombs, of course. Because where else would a nightmarish creature lurk? Armed with makeshift weapons, she descends into the darkness and hears whispers that aren't hers.
Not just whispers. Cain is there, summoning the Ritterak, like he's hosting some twisted party. With supernatural speed and brute strength, he locks Celaena in with the beast, weaponless. But let's not underestimate our girl. She grabs Damaris from the tomb, slays the Ritterak, and somehow drags her bleeding self back to her chambers. And just when you think she's done for, Nehemia bursts in, word marks blazing, and pulls off a literal miracle. Coincidence? I think not.
Miracles or not, Celaena isn't out of the woods. She confides in Nehemia but keeps Cain's little secret to herself. And then there's Chaol. Sparring with him might be fun, but running into the king in the hallway, less fun. Celaena's shaken and Chaol's spiraling. Trust issues all around. Oh, and let's not forget Nox. After some sparring and a heartfelt warning, he's out of the castle for good. Smart move, honestly.
Smart moves seem to be in short supply, though. Dorian and Celaena back to kissing and playing chess, as if the castle isn't filled with shadowy threats. But Celaena's nightmares are a stark reminder of the dangers ahead. When Nox's absence is discovered, the duels are pushed forward, 4 remain, and the stage is set for a brutal showdown.
And speaking of showdowns, we're outside for this one because nothing screams safe like battling near a creepy clock tower. The rules? No killing, though we all know Cain doesn't exactly play fair. He takes out Renault like it's a warm-up. Celaena, she's up against Grave. Choosing Nehemia's staff over Chaol's sword, she steps into the ring. And that's where we leave her, poised for battle. Classic cliffhanger, isn't it?
Oh, and before you slip back into the shadows, here's a little secret for my sharp-minded assassins. This week's cipher, 3 steps to the right, should get you there. Simple, right? Or maybe not. Either way, the answer lies within the whispers. Good luck, my deadly darlings.
Stay sharp, listeners, because the finale is upon us. Betrayals will come to light, enemies will rise, and the truth will cut deeper than any sword. But for now, I leave you with this. What lies behind a grave other than darkness? Until next time, walk the shadows and trust only the whispers.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Booked for Two.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review to help other book lovers find the show.
Follow us on socials at Booked for Two Podcast for behind-the-scenes content, updates, and sneak peeks. We'll also post the chapters for next week's episode every Saturday/Sunday, so you can read along.
Join us for our live Q&A every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Got questions about the podcast or want to know what Scott's wildest bookmark is? We've got you covered.
Keep an eye on our socials for cryptic clues from Obsidian and Garnet, the keepers of whispers. Solve the puzzle to win autographed stickers and bookmarks.
Get ready for the Throne of Glass finale next week, plus a bonus episode on Monday for a full book review and wild theories. And don't forget to grab Crown of Midnight. We're diving into book 2 right after.
Until next time, keep turning the page.